Welcome back to another episode of the Maturity Project. Welcome, you game changers and all around badasses. People are up to something, the ones that actually make the world turn. All right, I'm your host, Chad of Broshears. This is our Chad of Broshears, and thank you, Ed. I am the dad that gives the lessons, apparently. Insights, baby. Anyway, some changes going on, facing. Really looking at the wheel, right? Like there's a wheel of, like everyone says, don't reinvent the wheel. It's fascinating because there is this socially developed wheel that is the better practices to fit into society. You've got the business developed wheel that is the better practices to work through business. You've got your personal ones, you've got your emotional ones. Pretty much there's the wheel for every area of maturity. And a good friend of mine, he and I are working together. I'm helping him with some things in his business, and he's helping me with some things in my business. And for this, you'll see some changes coming along. And it is very interesting and uncomfortable to have to face changes that need to happen. But the beautiful thing is that we can do it. It's great, actually. And without those challenges, life would be a little too smooth. And when life's too smooth, apparently we take things for granted. And when we take things for granted, we give it less value for what it actually does in our life, obviously, right? Makes sense. That's why we have that term. But how many people just use the term and expect other people to just get it, then they don't really get the impact of what's being said. The guy's just taken for granted. Like, this is actually what it means. Working definition of it. It's the value that you have for that thing that's in your life. Put definition to it, man, it'll actually change your perspective on it. So I love how that works too. Otherwise, it's just a statement and a conversation piece that becomes incredibly cliche. So, looking at some of the things to change, there are people that have very successful models out there, and we have to, you study those models to become successful. And I've done this in a lot of places in my life. It's just interesting because there's certain places that I have a very, very smooth process where you couldn't tell that I'm doing it, where I move myself out of the way, and then I just let the other person show me what's up, what's there, how to be good at it. And then eventually that particular model of thinking turned into managing people from down into people that were under me, management, and managing people up that were my seniors in seniority to me, or have a higher level in the hierarchy than I do. And learning how to manage them and manage people below me, but that's because I was watching how things work and what is the best way to work with what so. Because it's great to be a game changer, and sometimes a game changer is just one thing, and the whole process that has been going on and that has been working is now tied together to a higher level of efficiency and effectiveness because that one little thing made the change. You can look at a lot of the technology in life. A lot of the things in the technology aspects of life, well, that one thing comes along and it speeds everything up. It's one thing, but everything speeds up quickly. The introduction to AI and how it is threatening people's jobs because they're trying to live in they're trying to function in a system that AI is making that much faster, that much more effective for companies to just go straight to it instead of either having it in-house or having a contractor outside doing it for them. Now they have more of an automated approach to doing it. Speeds it up very quickly, saves them money. It's one thing changed. Same concepts, everything about us in our life is that you just find that one thing. As I talk often about the Wheel of Fortune. I know there's a TV show and all that. It's been going on forever. That's actually based, it's the same concept with that. The wheel's turning around. If you notice on the Wheel of Fortune, there's something everywhere except for the unfortunate part, right? Bankruptcy or whatever. It's been a long time since I watched it, but I grew up on it. We didn't have cable, so we had like 5 channels. That was it. And Wheel of Fortune was on 3 of them. No, it's on 1, but it was one of the cleanest channels. So Um, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune's always around us, and as you turn it, sometimes the immediate maybe, it's only worth $100. On the Wheel of Fortune concept. And in life is that thing can be so incredibly minuscule, it really doesn't seem to be anything of value for you. It's just, Or you're blind to it. You have no idea what just rotated around you. You're just stuck on, if I can get to that other thing that I can see, things will be different. And I got to survive till I get there. Is you're really not making a whole lot of changes other than just that you're not going underwater, you're not falling behind or whatever, but you're just surviving. If you were thriving, you would be planning on how to make it that thing, when it gets there, you trained yourself, you conditioned yourself, you're ready to go. When that thing shows up, you could put that into practice and see how effective it is. Watch how it actually changes things for you. That's a fantastic opportunity, because it will start getting into other areas that you're currently blind to when it comes to the Wheel of Fortune. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, you always have opportunity in front of you, and it never goes away. The problem is we get so damn stuck on ideas or certain attachments to outcomes that we just get blinded to everything else that's around us. Because we just don't. Either you don't see the value in taking the action for what is being presented on the Wheel of Fortune. What's being presented as the opportunity for you. You may think of it as a step back, not realizing that step back gives you a platform to jump from, where right now you're not high enough. You don't have enough of a platform to jump from, so you can't make the jump. But that stepping back may actually give you a little bit of an elevation on where you're at now, and to give you the ability to jump over and actually make it, or make it close enough that you can go back to that platform and jump again, but next time change it just a little bit, and boom. Or you take another step back, get your elevation again, a little bit into that platform, and boom, you can make it easily. Something I mastered to it. You don't know if you've mastered the skill. You just know that you're better at it than you were before. You might be better than your peers. That does not mean mastery. It's mastery for you, but not for the skill itself. And I'm hoping that, because it's part of giving too much of a simple explanations or better. It could be, let's say, just work. We're going to use that. No platform jumping, all that stuff, right? Let's say you were somebody that was at a operations level or a director's level at a company, and then something happens and you don't have that position anymore. Then you have to find something that can facilitate your financial needs, or you have to let go of things. That becomes a priority to focus on. Find the thing that actually is workable enough that you can make enough money to not have to let go of things, ideally in your area of expertise. If not, then you have to change, and then you're likely going to go on a lower pay scale coming in, or higher risk dealing with it. So you're facing all the things you're dealing with saying, well, that's a step back, and it's a higher risk, which is also a step back because I'm not used to taking that kind of risk, blah, blah, right? We're using this as an example here. Well, perhaps that view in itself is life trying to teach you something, and to deal with it, to work on it, to make changes. The good thing about taking a step back enough that you can get a better opportunity ahead of you is when you step back and you're going into something that perhaps you're just not as versed in, but you think you got a pretty good idea about. Get into it, you find out, hey, there's actually a lot more to this, and I closed the chapter or closed the book on this thinking that I already had enough information, not realizing that the skills necessary to be successful at this will lend themselves to these other things. I can be better at other jobs. I can expand my resume, change my thinking enough because of a new conditioning that actually may be that one thing that you need to take what you're currently doing into the next level of your dreams. So how do you take that step back? Well, the maturity program and the maturity project, it's been a long day already. The maturity project is based off of how to take where to assess things and to find out where you're at, so you can always have workability. You'll never be painted into a corner when you're using the maturity project, because it has 8 areas of your maturity, and you may not associate an area of your immaturity that you have neglected. And again, probably not by choice. A lot of this stuff, you chose at one point, but not enough to recall the choice was made. If you made that choice when you're, an adolescent and you're an adult now, you're probably not going to remember making that choice. But that choice has consequences. You don't remember making it, but it's still affecting you. And you closed out anything that would really help you get to a better understanding on progress in that area and how it's connected to everything else, because it's actually gone dormant. You put a capsule on it, if you will, time capsule or something, intended to kind of quarantine it so that it doesn't get aggravated again. You don't know it's there. You don't know it's running. So we have 8 different areas of maturity. When you're dealing with something and say, okay, constantly, I'm always dealing with finance. One of the most common causes for people to spend extra money is to escape from something. Think about the concept of shop therapy. I'm just going to go do some shopping therapy. Well, you're in the financial maturity area and you're utilizing a resource that you have, whether it's a surplus of money or a debt option, like credit. You're going to go spend. The lower maturity or the less mature you are, the more likely you are to go for the debt the debt direction. Because I'm just going to go put this on a credit card. I don't care. I need to get this off my mind. I'm going to do shop therapy. I'm going to go shopping to make myself feel better. Well, you have something you're trying to escape, something that has caused a nuisance for you, and your palliative approach, which is just alleviating the temporary or temporarily alleviating the challenge by distracting you from it, by feel good because you give yourself something nice or something new. Well, they're connected. If you're constantly dealing with finance and you don't look at what you're trying to escape from, what's causing the upset in your life, if it's that you have really poor friend system, your friendships and your circle and your community is not that healthy or mature, actually is a better way of putting it. It's not that mature, and you have relationships that seem fickle, tick for tack, fighting all the time, whatever it might be, that does this disruption in the relationships. That's an area to look at, and then you, lo and behold, find out that you have less reason to go off and spend money to feel better. Could be, that's just an easy example. It could also be relationships can't seem to stay together, always in a state of chaos. Well, when you're dealing with somebody that has high conflict orientation, where they're just always seeming to handle or be in conflict in a relationship, that's typically not the issue. It's not the community maturity. It's there, yes, that's there, but that's not the adjutant that's actually causing it directly. Now, it can be self-perpetuating to a degree, but it's lack of purpose. So in the maturity project, that would be somebody that does not have a lot of spirituality in their life. Their maturity in spirituality, again, my version of spirituality is purpose. That's what I'm talking about. So it doesn't matter what religion you ascribe to, purpose is what I'm referring to in spirituality. I would call it purpose on its own and just leave it be because it's less confusing for people, but I put it in spirituality for a reason. Because spirituality is a far bigger conversation that transcends cultures, where purpose is something that's hard to explain in some cultures. Spirituality, religion is not. So I kept it there for a reason. Now, you have lack of purpose. Well, you do a lot of things. You may spend extra money. It might be a category where you do that, where you spend outside of your means. It could be that your relationship is going well and you finally started dating the person that you really have always wanted to date, and all of a sudden, every time you turn around, the relationship's going really well, and then you have to do something to sabotage it. That's somebody who knows how to master, that they have good, strong skill sets, or they have strong skill sets, not necessarily good, but strong skill sets in chaos, managing chaos. Those skill sets do not want to go to sleep easy. Those things will distract you from other things in life, because you could be having a great day and everything's going wonderfully. There's no problems. Everything's aligning for all of your efforts, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm unhappy. I'm struggling. I'm frustrated. I need to do something. I'm not in the right place. Whatever. There's all kinds of stuff people like that think. that help validate the reasons why they're doing things to destroy what they've created. Now, that's because they lack purpose. Such a major thing that people really need. So if you don't have it, it just causes us to feel like we're here to just breathe, pay bills, and die. And that's not a very desirable place for human beings. So, yeah. The wheel of fortune's always turning. So when I said that it's all, most of the time we're just distracted from being able to see opportunities as they show up. You have to condition yourself to be able to, even though it's always all around you, because you're distracted. So other challenges going on. There's a wheel turning for every area. The wheel is the best way or the most effective way to do something. We move away from that because we get distracted. Then we try to create something that makes us more unique. And then before you know it, you're spending so many resources, including your attachment to accomplishing it. You're making it work, that you get to the point that you're just have it in you, or your desire is broken. You feel lost for too long. I don't know how people do this. There are all kinds of things that you say to yourself because you don't know how to study other people and their success models. You can look at somebody as a whole and say, I can figure this out, but I don't know if I can. I can, but I can't, right? I just don't know where to start. It's simple. They're where they are because they've got their family's money. Okay, well, so what? What about how the family made the money in the first place? If you have some sort of moral conviction about how they made that money, you will take away the model of business that helped them develop it by getting righteous about that. I'm not saying you do it and you do what they did in order to get what they have, necessarily as far as moral decisions. But what about the rest of the business options? The maturity project will tell you, if it's connections and people they know are why they've gotten so far. Well, that's community. What resources do you share? Well, what's your maturity? What's your community maturity? So that's it. When I talk about maturity again, I'm also not taking away the fun of living. So that's an idea to get rid of. You definitely get to have fun being mature. Oh, all right. So I got simple version of all of this is this. Opportunities all around you all the time. The problem is that you're too caught up in everything else. You don't even see what's available to you because you're so caught up. Taking a step back can be a big step forward. There's a lot of things like that. The old cliche statements, but I want to take it from that cliche world and make it something powerful and usable for you. So join the Maturity Project. You will get there. You are watching the growth of this company and this education on a video by video basis. I'm dedicated to making a difference in other people's lives, and I've got to be more effective at what I'm doing. So you will see changes occurring because that's what's needed to get where we want to go. Now, there's a lot of ways to get to wherever it is you want to go in life. The beautiful thing about it is, though, is it really is up to you. You just got to figure out how you're in your own way. Join the Maturity Project. Subscribe to the channel. Follow, give comments in this. You can even tell me what you see as far as the changes occurring in the comment section, and use that for encouragement. Throw it back over to me, to say, Chad, we love what you're doing. Keep it up, and I'm supportive. Whatever it is to help for you to feel like you're contributing in this process, not just taking from it, because eventually that also gets to feel kind of to the person who's learning. Be contributory, and you feel more attachment, more ownership, and more likely the things that it's not more likely, the things we're working on this channel will start to manifest differently in your life. All right, share this video with a person in your life that you want to break the ice with and have a meaningful conversation with. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Subscriptions are huge. Liking the video helps with the algorithm, so take a second, just hit the like button real quick. And from there, let's get to it. This whole world really does need mature people because we're on a path to hell, paved with all kinds of good intentions, because people think they're doing the right things and they don't realize how to qualify that it may not be right. As the path to hell is paved with good intentions, and seems our social media, with our lack of ability to mature and support ourselves through the process of being able to use it, has turned that path to hell into a superhighway. Everybody's so incredibly narcissistically driven right now, unfortunately. They're exhibiting a lot of narcissistic traits. We need to come back together. So this is a way of doing it. All right, till next time. I'm your host, Chad over Broshears, or Sir Chad over Broshears. To some, if you know, you know. This is the Maturity Project. Let's get to it, okay? See ya.